Well, it is time once again to get a check on the weather in Nebraska with Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Eric Hunt. Pretty mild temperatures, Eric, across most of the state this week. However, winter is far from over. What are you tracking in the week ahead?
Thanks, Alex. It has indeed been a mild week, particularly here in the afternoons. That's going to continue through the weekend. But Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, we're going to see a cold front move through the state and through the broader region. That's going to bring colder temperatures for all of us, particularly for the western third of the state. I do anticipate highs remaining mostly below freezing here across the northern portion of the Panhandle, and a little bit warmer as we head into the central and eastern section of the state. But next week, we'll see highs mostly in the 30s, much colder temperatures to our north and west in the northern Rockies. Going to be a pretty quiet week next week. The only thing of interest is a storm system that should be entering into the Pacific Northwest by about the middle of next week. This looks to be taking more of a northerly route. That should keep the bulk of precipitation up in the Dakotas, as the European model does indicate better chances of 1 inch or more of snow here across the Dakotas, maybe getting as far south as Valentine. And again, if the storm system ends up being a little bit to our south, then this will all shift a little bit southward. Again, I'm filming this on Wednesday, so things can change. So pay attention to the forecast as you live in the northern portion of the state. In terms of precip, though, overall, just a little bit chances to our east and to our north of the storm system. But for the most part, though, almost all of Nebraska and the broader central plains and western Corn Belt should remain precipitation-free for the majority of next week. Again, it's been a pretty dry January for most of us here in the state, and it's been extremely dry for Iowa. This has been one of their driest Januaries on record over there. In terms of 8 to 14-day outlook, getting a little bit deeper the month, CPC does keep colder temperatures in place, predominantly for this region. I would say for the foreseeable future, the further north or west you go in the state, the more likely you are to be colder than average. In terms of precipitation, CPC is relatively bullish on us being above average, so I am anticipating us getting into a little bit more of an active weather pattern as we head toward Valentine's Day, and I do think that will mean some increased chances of snowfall across the entire state and the broader region. Now again, this isn't necessarily like super wet for this time of year, but I do think we are finally going to be getting some better chances of moisture getting in this part of the country as we head a little bit deeper into February. Looking a little bit further out in the crystal ball, the European model keeps it colder across the northern plains and northern Rockies, including all of Nebraska, and not really showing any strong signal on precipitation, but they're not showing dry either. So again, I do think that we are going to start seeing chances for more precipitation across this part of the country. Again, we've been very low, record low in a lot of cases on snowfall so far this season across this portion of the country. Right now in Nebraska, only the very far southeast is above average. And you'll notice that most of the north-central U.S. right now, save for the far north, is free of snow cover. This includes basically the entire winter wheat belt. So we did have a good stretch of this winter wheat belt down here that did have sub-zero temperatures with no snow cover. Thankfully, it sounds like in southwestern Nebraska, there hasn't been significant issues with winter kill, which is good. Swell temperatures right now are mostly holding in the low 30s to upper 20s across the state. And I do want to talk just a little bit about what happened after Beryl hit southeast Texas last July. So in the days after Beryl hit this part of the country, we did see anomalously southerly flow from Texas, Arkansas, Missouri up into the western Corn Belt. So some of you have been talking about the possibility of southern rust coming from this region. Well, this does show that you may have something to it. And this is our temperature precipitation roundup for the week ending January 25th, 2025. Back to you, Alex.